Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I have Daniel again, and we changed places because we had some technical issues. So this is the part 2 from the last one, and if you haven't watched that yet, please go back to the part 1 and please come back to part 2, please. Yay! So I think we finished talking about microaggressions in Japan.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I think that's where we finished, and I think I forgot to ask, what's your country like? What's Hungary like? So could you tell me a little bit about your country?
Yeah, so I think it kind of ties into the microaggressions as well, because in Hungary, when you have a problem, you like go straight to the source and you tell what your problem is. So compared to Japan, it's a very straightforward country. Like you don't really hide your intentions, you don't really lie. So that's the psychological part. And in terms of like a general introduction, it's a very small European country with some very beautiful architecture from the 1900s. So, and also with many famous onsen, like hot springs. Yeah, so Japanese people tend to love it. So I recommend visiting at least Budapest.
So do you guys go into the hot springs naked or?
No, it's completely different compared to Japan. So we like the konyaku.
Yeah.
Like going together. Like it's not gender segregated. You just use your swimsuits, and then it's like a water park.
What did you think about hot springs in Japan when you first arrived here? What was your initial thought?
I never really got used to it. I think it's something you have to born into, or like get used to it from a very early age. So I don't have the most favorable experience in Japanese hot springs, but I think it's more like I cannot really get used to it.
I wanted to ask you about how much you resonate with the Japanese culture.
There are many things that I really like about Japan and the culture here. So that's one of the main reasons I've been staying here for so long. But I think the absolute best thing about it to me is the humility. Even though many people don't really mean it, but if you start boasting about yourself in Japan, you really get ostracized. In Hungary or in the Western countries in general, you're kind of into this competition. Of course, like when you're with your friend, you can make that joke. You can be kind of sarcastic about, oh yeah, I'm the best at this or something, but not too much. Or you don't feel like you have to appeal to everybody in that way.
Because if you boast too much in Japan, people say like, oh, you love yourself too much, or you're bragging about yourself too much.
It's kind of the opposite in Hungary. When you're boasting about yourself, it's kind of like, if you don't do it, it's like, this guy doesn't promote himself.
Quite similar to America in that sense.
It is like I never lived in the States, but from what I saw from movies and all, and I have American friends.
Okay.
So they are very how do you say, humble. My American friends are actually humble.
What's it like working in Japan?
For the first 6 months, I worked with Japanese people, and it improved my Japanese by quite a bit. And after that 6 months, I've been mostly working with foreign people. And of course, it's a very interesting experience working with only Japanese people.
Right. How was that? Tell me about that.
I learned a lot.
What did you learn?
It's very different, and there are things that they are in place for a good reason. But for example, flexibility and things like you would expect in the West, or in the case of when someone has a good idea about something, a new idea, in the West, people just tend to listen to that person. Oh, that's a good idea. But in Japan, even if you have a novel concept, people really need to double check with everybody, and this is why ideas don't, like, new ideas get valued, I feel like, as much.
And why do you think that happens?
People don't want to stand out, I think.
Okay.
They just want to stay in their lanes most of the time, and don't want to upset others. Like if you tell a good idea to your boss, it's more like you're devaluing him a little bit, because he should have thought about that idea because he's above you. There's kind of like that.
So it's more about the hierarchy
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, yeah.
But I think in the last few decades, and I kind of experienced that in a hotel. And a hotel is, like, even among Japanese companies, is the strictest working environment. So it's super strict, I would say that. But I think they want to change in the past decades.
They want to. That's what they've been saying.
Yeah, yeah, they've been saying that, and now you are expected to call everybody son and not just their last name, and they've been
Oh,
putting
like
this.
anybody, even if they're older than you, younger than you, it's just somebody's son.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So I think that's a change I
Yeah,
heard.
big time. Now, how did you deal with that situation?
Sounds strange, but for the fact that I'm out of place from the start, people were more like people paid more attention when I had some suggestions about. For example, I had this idea that the hotel signs and all these descriptions were they had those had very bad English, and I kind of raised that concern, and then people actually cared about it. But at the same time, I also felt like, oh, why did you bring this up? Like, it's just causing trouble. So it's more like they paid attention, but I kind of got this feeling that maybe I shouldn't have. So
Right. Did your ideas go through? Did it get solved at the end?
they tried a little bit, but it's a very like compromising. I think you're familiar with this
yeah,
compromising attitude.
Compromising. Did you work at the reception?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
The front desk.
Front
I
desk.
usually I usually use my like my English and Japanese to talk to foreigner guests. Like,
Right.
I was basically out of the 300 people, I was the only one who could speak decent English. It was very fulfilling in that sense. So I like that job too. But
Did the Japanese customers expect you to speak Japanese?
they did, because it was in Shizuoka, and it's
Right.
a very far away place. It was in the countryside. If it was in Tokyo, no one would expect me to speak Japanese.
Did they react when you spoke Japanese, or they were just like, oh, whatever, and they just went on with it?
No, I think people react to that in Tokyo, like in this like whatever nonchalant attitude. If you speak Japanese, because many foreigners are here, many foreigners speak Japanese, but no one speaks as perfectly as you. Like, you're the only person I know who looks foreigner and speaks perfect Japanese, and your uncle. So so basically. Yeah, they usually complimented me. Oh, yeah, you speak Japanese very well, and stuff like that. So they didn't expect me. But if you're in Tokyo, people are not as surprised.
Right.
But if you speak perfect Japanese, people are still surprised here. I think you feel that every day.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. What kind of expectations did people have on you?
They, like, many people wanted to get close to me so they can learn English for free, and or for the fact that I'm a foreigner person and they never had a foreign friend. So
Right.
it's actually very hard to be friends here with a Japanese person just to be friends. It just get judged by my character. But I think I shouldn't complain, because I should have expected that. But I think. If that person has lived abroad for many years, they have an international background, it's much easier to make friends with Japanese people.
So you quit working at the hotel after 6 months, right?
Yes, I did.
So what happened at the end?
So there was downtime. Like, I was about to sign another contract with a Nagano hotel, very far away from here. But I had this 2 weeks break between the two contracts. And the lady who actually got me the first hotel job said to me, like, after 2 weeks, let's meet again, and you sign the contract. Went to an audition while I was here for 2 weeks.
Audition for a TV commercial?
For a TV, I think for Kohaku Tagasen or something.
Oh, right.
And then, like, she called me. And like I just told her, okay, I just went to this audition because I was thinking after these 2 months, when I go to the other hotel, because I supposed to work there for 2 months, and after that's over I come back to Tokyo. I have some connections, and maybe I can start doing my like other type of work here. And I just told that to her, and she got super paranoid. Wait, aren't you going to sign the contract? And up to that point, she was very nice to me. She dubbed herself as my Japanese mom or my Japanese helper here, and because of her reaction, I just realized, oh, she doesn't really care about me the way I thought she did. And after that, I'm like, of course, like I'm going to go to the hotel, but like, yeah, if you don't do that, I'm disassociating myself with you completely. And she would just threw me away at the end of the day. After she kind of threw me away, I stayed in Tokyo for 3 months without having a home in net cafes.
Wow.
And,
since then, have you been doing a lot of acting jobs as well?
whenever I get one, I'm super happy about it because I get to meet very interesting people, but I never consider it as like a viable career path. It's something fun I do here, and the best thing about it is I get to meet interesting people like Joshua here.
That's how we met.
Yeah. Who has a very unique view on Japanese society,
Thank
I
you.
think there are only like maybe he's the only YouTuber who has the same point of view on Japanese society. Growing up here, you're the third generation, by the way, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a very unique channel.
Oh, thank you very much.
You should follow him definitely.
Oh, thank you. That was natural. You've worked at the hotel. You've been doing some acting and modeling jobs.
A little bit, yes.
And what are you doing right now? What kind of projects are you working on?
So while I've been working on these, I've also been working on a game.
Okay.
And it's been 1.5 years.
Okay.
And it's a kanji learning game, but in this game, all the kanji become monsters, and you can battle with them.
Wow, it's kind of like
style.
it's like Pokemon. Yeah,
exactly. Because there are thousands of kanji, and we can make those kanjis into designs. And it's a card game inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic, and you can see a little bit of that footage.
Yeah.
And if you go into the concept a little bit, you're familiar with kanji. I'm pretty sure about this.
Yeah, I have kanken sankyu. So.
Okay, so your kanji knowledge is probably
I at
very
least
good.
know 3,000 kanjis. Yeah.
And even beginners know that there are fire type kanji, there are water type kanji, there are grass type kanji, like bamboo type kanji, and we have a battle system. For example, like water being strong against fire, and all these like rock paper scissors mechanics, and we incorporate that into designs of these monsters. And with this app, it's designed to improve your vocabulary and to learn the stroke order and learn how to basically write them while you're having fun. And getting familiar with it is the main benefit you can have from this. So we are still looking for a 3D artist and an animator, and also if you have background in sound design and background like BGM stuff, we're still looking for these people. So if you want to work in a project based in Tokyo, we believe it's a very unique project with a lot of potential. Please let us know. So
if anybody is interested in this project, please send an email to Daniel. I'll put it in the description.
Or
of course.
you can check out our LinkedIn's as well.
Yeah.
And just feel free to message us.
Thank you guys for watching, and please give us a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel, and please leave a comment. See you next time. Bye bye.